The two ordinary hosts of this podcast are not professionals on parapsychology, extraterrestrials, cryptozoology, nor would they describe themselves as religious or prone to superstition. They'd also like to make it known that this show is not intended for children or those with sensitive sensibilities. Please listen at your own discretion. And remember, the truth is often anecdotal.
Hello, listeners. I am Mr. R.
And I'm Mr. X.
A pair of normal dudes.
Reading paranormal stories.
Mr. R, how do you feel about...
Just call me Mr. R.
Sorry, that's me. You, Mr. X.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking myself, how do I feel about guardian angels, or angels in general? I think they're pretty cool.
You know,
wow, what a shit show of an intro.
There's a lot going on. You know, I don't think I actually know what an angel is. They vary so drastically in description between the Bible and just separate denominations and such. So with that said, our theme is angels this week. We did demons before.
It feels appropriate.
Yeah, I just thought, hey, yeah, maybe angels will be something interesting. And there are a plethora of stories. There's so many stories about angels that I found it hard to pick one. At first I was going to go with a gimmick where I was going to see what kind of stories I could pull from people who misspelled it angle. I did find one story like that was hard to get through because it's literally a guy talking about how he got drunk with his girlfriend. They rode home on his motorcycle and then he threw up and I don't know. I didn't even finish it. I was just like, oh my God, this guy's such a tool. I feel like I was going to be too harsh going through that story. So I was like, okay, what else is there? And I realized one of the stories I clicked on was in the Christianity subreddit. And I was like, oh, this might be interesting. And then as I was going through again, I found another one from the Catholics subreddit. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if we read a few stories? And these stories were the same. They were like, hey, has anyone had an encounter? Maybe they had a description of their own, but really they were just asking for other people's encounters within these communities. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. We could see the difference between Catholicism, which we went into last week, kind of heavy, and then Christianity. And then I came across the Mormon subreddit, and I was like, oh, here's a quirky religion that we can definitely compare. So I got 3 stories. I pulled 3 stories, one from each of these subreddits, so we can kind of just see what the difference is between them. So, I mean, as far as I know, those are the only religions that kind of have angels in them, I think. I don't know. Like the intro says, we're not experts on any of this stuff.
And we could certainly learn along the way.
Yeah. But I don't really want to. So.
I don't want to learn.
So because we went so heavy on Catholics last week, I'm just going to start with the Catholics subreddit. We know they're pretty superstitious about all this kind of stuff. They're pretty heavy in their lore. This is a long story. Like the girl's initial story is pretty long, but I think we can get it through pretty quick and then see what the comments have to say. So this one is from the Catholicism subreddit, posted 4 years ago by Angel Throwaway 123.
Good.
And it's just titled, Question, has anyone ever had experiences with angels? Starts here with, throwaway because I don't want people in my real life finding this. They wouldn't believe me. Okay.
Oh, the name. Okay.
Yeah. That's why it's called Angel Throwaway 123. Yeah. You see that a lot on Reddit. I don't know how often you come across just stories, but there's a lot of throwaway accounts because people don't want to catch any guff. Although I don't think anyone in my real life would be able to find me from my Reddit username. So. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. So some Pretty strange events have been happening to me as of late. Just for some background, I, a 19-year-old female, have been a Roman Catholic since birth and got all sacraments up to confirmation, and am very devout to my faith. It all started in March of last year. Basically, I was having trouble sleeping for quite some time, usually due to some anxiety or simply overthinking. Often, these anxious thoughts would lead to terrible nightmares. During one of these nightmares, it suddenly sort of paused, for lack of a better term, and a hand reached out with a calming voice saying, "Take my hand, I'll pull you up." I didn't know what was going on, but in the dream I took the mysterious figure's hand and found myself in sort of a calming, dark indigo void.
Okay.
What? Okay. I saw the figure, who looked like a young man in his early 20s and had almost pastel blonde hair. Pastel blonde? Okay. Piercing deep blue eyes and soft, pale skin. He asked me if I felt all right, and when I said yes, he walked away and I felt myself slowly go into a dreamless sleep. I thought that maybe this might have been just a fluke, but I had a couple of more dreams like this. After the third dream where this happened, I turned to him and asked him who he was. He simply responded with, "Do you really want to know?" I said yes, and two white wings emerged from his back and his head started to glow, almost like a halo. He said, "I'm your guardian angel." Oh shit, I lost my place.
That was so dramatic.
Yeah. He said, "I'm your guardian angel. You've been in distress, so I had to help you." When I asked him his name, he refused to tell me. Then, for a while, he wasn't appearing in any of my dreams. But in the early part of this year, I was having really bad sleep paralysis, as well as pain in my stomach. Wow. I had a sort of lucid dream where he saw what was happening and immediately came to my side. He asked me what was wrong, and when I told him what was happening, he found where the pain in my stomach was and placed his hand on it until the pain went away, along with the sleep paralysis. I then thanked him, and that morning I felt fine. But then it got even weirder. I was heading onto a bus when someone turned to me and said, "Good luck." I thought it was someone on their phone, but when I looked up and saw who it was the same exact person I kept seeing in my dreams. Well, why did I say it like that? Same blonde hair, blue eyes, voice, face, everything. After this, I would repeatedly see him heading onto a specific train line on my daily commute, always heading onto the same spot every time. Recently, I was heading along that same route when he showed up on the same train car as I was in. He sat next to me and reassured me about an upcoming class I was heading to, saying, "Everything's going to be all right. You've got nothing to worry about. God's looking after you, and so am I." Later, he then gave me a gentle hug once I got off the train. When I went to return home, he appeared yet again, but he seemed a little untrusting of his surroundings. A security incident suddenly started up and he rushed me right off the train into a safe place onto the platform. He made sure I was all right before I headed off. I honestly don't know how to comprehend what's happening. Nothing he has ever said to me has ever contradicted scripture at all. He's told me that he worships both God and Jesus. Has anything similar happened to you? Are angels supposed to appear this often to people? Okay, that's the main story. Now, there are two edits here. The first edit is simply saying that she went onto a website to kind of generate a picture of what this person's supposed to look like. And there is a link. I was hesitant to click the link, but I did, and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't exist anymore. So I guess we won't. I mean, he sounds like, a Nazi's wet dream, but whatever. The second edit here is I ran into him again on my commute this morning. I tried the two tests you all suggested. He prayed both the Our Father and Hail Mary perfectly and wasn't offended at all that I asked him to do so. We talked further, but the conversation was too long for a short update here. Bottom line, he's a real and good angel. Okay.
Wow.
That was a lot, but it's almost exactly what I would expect from a Catholic. So, okay, it started off here with dreams. All right, that was last week's theme. I don't really know if we can trust dreams as being like a sort of paranormal experience. Maybe all dreams are paranormal experiences. I mean, paranormal is just beyond normal, right? So, these dreams could just be preparing her for something. Maybe she's seen this guy on the train before. Maybe this guy is just a weirdo. Or he's an angel. I don't know. That movie just came out recently with Aziz Ansari and Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves. Where Keanu Reeves,
he's Gabriel.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is his name, but he's just a random angel. He's just like a random guardian angel. The movie was pretty good. I liked it. Keanu Reeves was pretty good in it, playing like a kind of a clueless angel. Fun movie. Okay message, I guess. But I don't know. It's just kind of what threw me off really was the edit at the end where she's like, I had a really long conversation with this guy. And I'm like, would angels just be allowed to sit with you for like, and imagine this is an angel and you're the only one who can see them. You just look like a crazy person talking to yourself on the train, or, what's going on? I did skim through some of these comments, and oddly enough, they're a little skeptical, a little like wary of the idea. Like this first one right here from Remember Nichelle says, there's a fair number of people who see guardian angels or other angels. It's unusual, but not unheard of. That said, it's not unheard of either for a demon to play tricks on people who have been having legitimate visions or pathetic dreams, or seeing real apparitions. Okay. And it's also possible to have waking dreams that are difficult to tell apart from normal waking life, especially if you haven't been sleeping well. Sleep apnea and narcolepsy have some non-fun effects.
Thanks, doctor.
Non-fun, okay. Say your prayers every day and keep attending Mass on Sunday. If you're worried when you see this guy, ask this guy to say the Our Father. Okay, so that's where she got the thing from in her update. Well, okay. Yeah, this guy's just like, her woman, I don't know who this is, but essentially they're just like, this maybe not. Just be careful.
I like obviously anyone who's going to be reading into these posts are either religious or they're not. And it's going to be easy to tell those apart. But I like how it's like, hey, you know what? It's unusual, but it's not unheard of. But let me pitch this. It was a demon.
Okay, so but this is what I like about the fact that I pulled it directly from these religious subreddits, is that you have to believe everyone who's commenting is the same religion, right? And they're all going to have at least an opinion that's in the same direction, right? It's going the same way.
You would expect, yes.
Yeah. Here, let's see. There's someone here who kind of wants to relate their own little story, and it's pretty short. From Cinders, says, I haven't had an experience like this, but my mother suspects for a couple of reasons that I was able to see angels as a baby, up until about 1. Them refusing to tell you their name also lines up with Catholic teaching, since we aren't supposed to know our guardian angels' names. Is that a thing? I don't know.
I have no clue.
A good chunk of my family is Catholic, and I literally don't know because they only go to church on like Christmas and Easter.
See, yeah,
so sometimes they just say random stuff, and I'm like, is that a thing? I don't know. My stepdad is not religious at all, except that he is. Like, he doesn't like going to church. He doesn't like praying or doing all that stuff, but he keeps a little rosary and like a kind of like a card of Mother Mary, like on his in his car while he drives, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I couldn't tell you. My family was so bad. Like I
was gonna say your religious upbringing was like a roller coaster.
Yeah. So before I was born, no, maybe a little bit afterward. Okay, so I'll say it like this: the family was Jewish, at least on my grandfather's side. My mother's father, I should say it like that. And then when he died, our grandmother was like, we're Baptists now. And gonna go ahead and let you guys know, those aren't super common. Like,
not a lot in common.
No. And man.
Except for the main book, I guess.
Yes. There's a big figure involved, right? And there's a lot of, minor figures that kind of hop around in the stories. And most of the Torah is, it's like daytime sitcoms where at the end you're supposed to have learned something, but you appreciate the fact that the stories are not real. They're not meant to, like, they're apocryphal. They are meant to be stories. And then obviously baptism is a lot about, like, if you don't save your soul, you'll burn in hell, and that's bad. Jews don't even believe that's a possibility. So a very confusing religious upbringing. But my family were terrible at going to church. Most of them would either forget or be like, oh, we have stuff to do, like, whatever. And I think most of my religious upbringing was going to youth group. Like on Wednesdays after school, we would go to, honestly, and this should say a lot, actually, is it didn't really matter what church you went to. Like, there was a Church of Christ in town. There was a First, what was that called? A First Baptist church. There were a few different churches in the town I grew up in, and we would always go to different ones on Wednesdays, and it confused the pastors, obviously. Because honestly, it was just us wanting to hang out together, and this was a venue for us to do that. And it was the South. We were in the Bible Belt, so, like, that was just something you did. It was such a normal thing that I didn't realize that it wasn't something other people did until I got much older.
See, so growing up, my mom decided she wasn't going to be Catholic. She didn't like Catholicism. So, like, up until the age of, I don't know, maybe 7, the only religious aspect of our entire lives was that every night before bed, my mom would do, like, a little prayer for us. Like, we'd go up to my mom and be like, hey, I'm going to bed. And she would do, like, the little cross symbol on us and, like, mutter something. I don't really know. But that was it. And then at one point, she didn't really like my friends that I had growing up in Florida, but the one workaround we had was that they would go to church on Sundays, so we started asking if we can go to church with them on Sundays, and then it got to the point where my mom was kind of catching on to that, so we were like, well, you can come with us too, and so she started taking us there, and then our friends stopped going, and we were like, oh well, crap, now we're stuck in this, and then my mom converted to. She's essentially like a newborn. And then at some point while we were in Florida, she started going to a different church. And this church was wild because before we only went on Sundays. That the church that we went to didn't even have like a physical building. They were like taking in donations to build their church. We were just meeting in like a rec center. And I kind of like that church because after every service, they would have food. They would have like fried chicken and stuff like that. And so we got to have food afterwards. This new church didn't do that. But this new church also kind of forced us to go to church on Wednesdays, like Wednesday nights for like youth group. And this second church was like one of those extreme churches. Not like they were super strict or anything, but they were like those, hey, we're a cool church. We do like 4-wheelers and paintball and stuff. And so it was kind of wild. And then we moved to Puerto Rico, and the only reason we kept going to church was because my mom wanted to make friends. So, and then once we moved to Texas, all that stopped. Although our doctor, when we moved to Texas, my pediatrician, he would always, this made me so uncomfortable, but we'd go to do like a physical, and he'd be like, so you guys going to church? And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? And he'd keep trying to get us to go to his church. It was so weird. But anyway, so yeah, we don't have, you and I, very strange upbringings with religion. Let's see, just to end this Catholic one, because a lot of it is just people saying like, strange, but keep following the teachings. Although in continuation of that one comment that said we're not supposed to know angels' names, someone else comments to that. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, right here. It says, the Roman Catholic Church has barred Roman Catholics from addressing angels by name unless they are Michael, Gabriel, or Raphael. If you are one of the three hypothetical people in all of time whose guardian angel is one of those three, and you somehow find out, you're free to address him by name. However, the church assumes that those three people do not exist. What? Something?
Huh?
Okay. As for reasons, that's what this says. Different angels have different personalities. How active they are depends partly on their personality. Being close to God also matters. It seems as if both of those boxes have been checked in this situation. Okay. How so? By like them saying that they worship God and Jesus?
I don't, that's a weird way to, okay.
So I guess we're just not allowed to know their names. But okay.
You know what? There's a lot of power in a name. The same thing, I think there's a similar conversation that happens with demons, right?
Yeah. Like if you find out a demon's name, you have control over it, right? Maybe it's the same thing. I mean, what, demons are supposed to be fallen angels, no?
A lot of them.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure they mentioned Raphael. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that is one.
I'm just going to assume from that reading that if you know an angel's name, you're like his master or something. Oh, look, someone else kind of affirms that. He says, likely refused to give his name because the Roman Catholic Church has restricted the use of angel names. Oh, no, it's the same fucking person.
Oh.
Never mind. He's just reassuring himself. He also has, oh man, he's posted a lot. Like a lot of separate comments. Angels can make themselves appear however they want. His true appearance might differ from the one he showed you. What he showed you is probably an expression of his personality more than anything else. And then there's 4 more paragraphs to that comment. Okay. We went into Catholics a lot last week, and they believe a lot of crazy stuff. No offense to Catholics, but like compared to other Christians, some wild things. Not as wild as the Mormons, but we'll get into that later. As for the next story, we're going to go into the Christians. I'm not sure if this is the original one that I saw. No, it's not. But originally I found one from like a Christian subreddit. It was the same thing. It was just asking if people had seen an angel, and a lot of the comments on it were just the word yes. It's like a bunch of different people being like yes, and not going into it.
Oh,
at
that's
all.
good. Yeah, that's great engagement. Yeah. They just wanted karma.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is from the Christian subreddit, posted 3 years ago by Oris Mind Theater. This one's titled, "Has anyone ever encountered an angel in human form?" Okay, so this is specifying something here. It's flared with discussion. So there's a short little story here, and it goes as such. I have a testimony to share. One day, I was at work, and I was really beating myself up in my head to myself.
Okay.
I just wasn't happy there. I was miserable. I kept telling myself maybe God is punishing me. Maybe he doesn't love me. Maybe he forgot about me. Anyway, I go to walk down the main aisle of the store, and all of a sudden, what appears to me to be a teenage boy, maybe 16 or 17, old baggy clothes, gray hoodie, baggy pants, greasy hair, glasses, the nerd look. The nerd type of look. Sorry. Okay, so this teenager appears. God damn. That was so hard to get through. This rough-looking teenager appears to this woman. Stopped in front of me when he came out the side aisle, and I don't recall him ever making eye contact with me, but he looked down towards the ground with his hands on his chin and said, "Ma'am," and I said, "Yes, how can I help you?" And he said, "God loves you very much." I said, "Oh, thank you, you too." I was in shock. I didn't know what else to say. I come from an area where people always say that type of thing. Okay. I didn't really fully grasp the meaning of the statement until I got home and thought about what I was saying to myself in my head and how this boy came from nowhere and said that to me, and I cried. I used to work at a place where you paid to shop there. So I would see the same customers every week, multiple times a week, but I never saw this boy again. I don't even remember if he even checked out before he left. Can anyone explain to me, was this an angel in human form? Have you had an experience like this? Okay. It was really hard to read.
Not great.
So, okay. This person's having doubts, feeling miserable at work. It's me every day. And then this kid comes out of nowhere and says that God loves her very much. She does say that she lives somewhere where people say that all the time, which, you know, like you said, we both lived in the Bible Belt. We've experienced that. People just randomly being like, Jesus loves you. Wait, was it you who had the story that oh man, I don't remember if it was you or someone else, but I knew someone who was they were shopping in a store and someone saw a tattoo.
I don't remember this.
Oh, it was me. What the fuck am I talking about? This was me. I was in a store. I was walking around and this woman was like, "Oh, hey, can I see that? Can I see your tattoos? 'Cause I have two tattoos I have tattoos on each of my wrists and our forearms." And so I was like, "Yeah," and I showed her and she's like, "Oh, those are pretty cool. But you know, God doesn't like tattoos." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Yeah." And so she starts to walk away, but as she turns around, she has a big ass tattoo on the back of her neck.
She doesn't know about it.
I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Shit, I forgot about that until this
That's
second. Holy
so
shit.
funny though. to be like, who was that?
I was like, surely that had to have been someone else.
Someone I know.
Because I was like, man, there's a neck tattoo in this story. I don't know who has a neck tattoo that I know of, but yeah. This woman was just like, "Hey, you're not gonna get into heaven because of your tattoos." She turns around and has a tattoo on her freaking neck, but you know, whatever. Okay, my theory here with this, I don't think this was an angel. I think this was a kid trying to shoplift, and so when he almost got caught, he was like, "Hey, God loves you very
good."
much." And it just happened to be like in the moment when this woman needed to hear this. So there might be some interesting stories here. But let's. This first comment here is just kind of like going into the question that she asked at the end here. It says, "If it was just a human, God spoke through him. Either way, it's incredibly beautiful." To which someone responds to that with, "Well, it is still an angel, even if angel is a metaphor."
Huh?
Okay. The OP does respond to that with, interesting. But how did he know I was beating myself up like that in my head? How did this boy who know who I even was to tell me that? Well, okay, this is why I think shoplifting, one, that's just the first thing that came to mind, is a dirty looking kid, kind of doesn't want to make eye contact. Clearly he's doing something that he doesn't want to get caught. But she says, I don't even know if he checked out before he left. He could have just pocketed something and walked out. And she never saw him again. But then she also has this weird freaking phrasing here. I used to work at a place where you paid to shop there. So I would see the same customers. So kind of like a Costco, I guess.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Club. I'm get those. That's the only thing that comes to mind. But yeah, I don't know. If you live somewhere where people say that kind of stuff all the time, it could literally just be a coincidence. But let's see. Someone named Dee responds to her with, "The Spirit led him to talk to you. God knew you'd be beating yourself up." Again, we're getting these from like these religious subreddits. So all these comments are going to be pretty reassuring and reaffirming to this stuff. A deleted user said, "Possibly, but won't know it till I get to heaven."
Okay. I guess.
Anyways, Doug Shue here says, sounds like it was likely an angel. Someone else here with a username I don't even want to try says, "I think so. Something similar happened to me." Okay. Well, let's see if there's any other Christian stories here. The Shelter Place says, "Like 20 years ago in my hometown in Mexico." Oh, I'm not going to do a Mexican accent. "There was this tall and little chubby, long-bearded, long-hair, blue-colored-eyed guy, all dressed in white robes, with a long walking stick in his hand outside of a store. His clothes were really white, clean. he was clearly not Mexican at all. Doesn't sound like it. I was with a friend of mine. I think my friend gave him a couple coins. Can't remember well. We didn't share any words, but his image stayed in my head for a while. He clearly didn't fit with the culture or with anyone around. I know there's a lot of crazy people everywhere, but that person seemed too odd to not remember. Angel or crazy person? Shrug emoji. Okay. You have any theories on that one, Mr.
No,
R?
never. I do love the shrug emoji. That's a great touch. I mean, okay, so I've never been to Mexico. I lived amongst Mexicans for the majority of my childhood. Yeah. All of them were religious.
Yep. And that's just kind of like, that's kind of by osmosis, right? They just grow up in a religious environment. Yeah. They don't question it, you know? They just grow up, and even if they don't go to church, they just kind of do the thing, you know?
Like, you'd be hard pressed to like go into Central Texas, walk into any Hispanic household, and you're going to find candles. You're going to find murals. You like maybe even like a little station, like a corner dedicated to prayer.
A crucifix, those little candle things with the images of Jesus, which at the grocery store where I work, they just put those in the little ethnic food section.
No way. That's funny.
There's just like a little Hispanic section in a random aisle, and at the bottom they have those little candles. They also put it with the candy too, for some reason. I don't know. Maybe we could do 2 other little anecdotes from the Christians here, and then we'll move on to the Mormons, which is what I really want to get into. So Andromedaleder here says, when my grandfather was still alive, I wasn't born yet. He died of a brain tumor before I was born. He once picked up a hitchhiker to help them out. From what I've heard, he was a very good example of what it's like, what it looks like to truly live the Christian life. Okay. When he picked up the hitchhiker, he decided it was a good time to witness for faith. And apparently the hitchhiker listened and basically agreed with him and thought it was cool. When my grandfather dropped off the hitchhiker, he dropped him off near an empty field and said that he pretty much disappeared. Okay. He thought it was an angel, so that's cool. Either way, your story's very cool, but I'm unsure if it could be an angel or just a very nice human.
Just a very nice human. Just a nice guy.
Ideally, he picks up a hitchhiker. This would be me if I was the hitchhiker. I'm like, I'm hitchhiking along. Guy picks me up. He starts talking about God. Again, I'm not religious. I can't say that I don't believe in any of this. A part of me feels like I should believe in something. And so it's hard for me to say that I don't fully believe. But like, if someone was trying to preach to me after they picked me up for a ride and then dropped me off in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, I would try to fade out of existence too. If I could.
What muscle do you got to flex to fade?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, one more here from Physical Pie 1215. This was 2 years ago. So people keep commenting on this. They said, I just found out that I was going to lose my son at 28 weeks pregnant, and I was in a Walmart, of all places, kind of spaced out because of what I had just found out, when a woman with long gray hair touched my shoulder and said that Jesus loved me. Then she just walked away. I stood there for a few minutes. Then I tried to see where she went. I searched the entire store looking for her, and she was nowhere to be found. I never believed in God before that day, but I do now. All right. Sad story, but I don't know. Having faith is fine. Have faith if you want to have faith.
Faith is great.
But sometimes I hear stories like this, very sad thing this person was going through, but like just someone saying that Jesus loves them, like that's, I mean, sure, yeah, you hear that in a situation where you might need it the most, right? But like 90% of this country, if they live in the US and anywhere in Europe, the majority of the population is Christian.
It's going down.
Like they're going to say Jesus loves you, right? I don't know. Moving to some, sure. Not really to me. sorry if this if this episode's kind of... This is what I was kind of worried about with doing this little format here, was that we were gonna it's gonna end up being really religious kind of facing as opposed to just straight up paranormal. But yeah, you know, whatever. Okay, here I'll do one more from Whitney. 2 years ago. Says, when I was 17 years old, I was in a store and an older man walked past me. He
Oh no.
Very similar to that other one. He looked at me with the most loving and compassionate expression I had ever seen in my life. There's no expression that will come close. I just stared at him, then walked in another aisle, thinking about how beautiful that man was, even though he was just an average looking man. Oh, I'm just throwing shade at this guy too. He was so beautiful. He passed me again, just staring at me, and oh my gosh.
He's coming off as creepy.
Yeah, it's a little creepy, right? Sorry. Just staring at me and looking as if he knew me so deeply. I was like, he watched every little This is a 17-year-old, again, just to be clear. It was like he watched every little detail of my life and that he loved everything about me. I was so moved and stared back. I tried to find him again, but he was gone. When I got home, I felt like I had just gotten out of a dream, like time had stood still. The emotional impact of it all didn't really hit me until later that day. I was troubled because I didn't know what just happened to me. I cried, realizing that something supernatural must have happened to me. He must have been an angel. I wanted to see the angel again so badly, but I realized that the love the angel had on his face is nothing compared to the love God has for us.
That guy got arrested. That guy was picked up by security.
Okay. Okay, this person wanted to share their story, but all it says here is that the emotional impact of it all didn't really hit me until later that day. I was troubled because I didn't know what just happened to me. So, did something actually happen to them, or are they saying that they didn't realize they saw an angel and that kind of made them a little distraught? I will say, just someone showing you kindness can mean the world in the right situation, right? Just someone smiling at you while you're going about your day can make you feel great. Me, in my early 20s, I was depressed as hell, man. I was so bummed all the time. And I'm sure it showed on my face, but anytime I would look at a baby, they would smile at me. Like, I don't know why. Babies would just look at my miserable face and smile at me.
Those babies
and
are
I was
angels.
just like, yeah, maybe. Hey, could be. That's a different perspective, right?
Everyone says
I don't know what it could have been
their
before.
children are little angels.
Hey, these were like sub 2 years old, so I mean, maybe it could be. It's just like that movie Boss Babies, except they're all angels instead of little businessmen. But okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Mormon one that we'll close out on here. The Mormon one is just a straight up question. It's not a person sharing their personal story. It's just a straight up question. But one of the responses just killed me. And that's when I knew I had to do this one. So this one is from the Mormon subreddit, posted by C Shale. And it's titled, Has anyone ever had or knows someone who's had a direct encounter with an angel? This one is flared with personal, although it's not personal because they don't share anything.
Okay.
It says, I was reading in the Doctrine and the Covenants where it mentions that angels can appear to people, and it made me wonder, has anyone ever had a direct experience with an angel or knows someone close who has? I mean literal angels, like those described in the scriptures, not just spiritual impressions or figurative angels, like the two previous stories. I know we often talk about feeling the spirit or receiving revelations, but I'm curious if there are more literal or tangible stories out there. Okay. First comment on here is from EasyAd447. It says, this isn't a funny story. Although if you know anything about Mormonism, as someone who's not a Mormon, it's a little funny. And it goes as such. My husband died of cancer at a very young age. hilarious. Sorry. He came to me in a dream and spoke to me about our 2 boys and gave me some very helpful and heartfelt advice and begged me to do for the boys. Okay. That's how it's written. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. Before he left, I asked him what it was like up there. He smiled and said, "You know I can't tell you that." We were facing each other, holding hands, and his being faded away. I woke up crying, and my pillow was very, very wet. That was 45 years ago, and I vividly remember this experience and our exact words. Someone responds to that with, "I love that. What a comfort." Someone else said, "Yes, lovely story. Thank you for sharing. So happy you had this experience. When I was a very young child, my parents faced multiple problems that made home life hard. One evening, things were particularly difficult, and my parents shut me in my room. Granted, I was a little child, but I had a deeply comforting experience that has stayed with me all my life. I could explain it in a number of ways, but ministering angels comes to mind. Please, no snarky comments." Well, that wasn't, I mean, you just commented that under someone else's story. True. So someone responded also with, "I think that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing." Someone else says, "I totally believe you. I had something similar. I don't really know how to explain it, but I also don't feel the need to prove it to anyone. It was what it was, and I had several experiences like that over a lifetime, leading me to believe there is something all-powerful and good out there. Granted, it has nothing to do with the Mormon church, okay? And there's some things that are bigger than the church." Wow, that could get you excommunicated, I'm sure. Which is why ultimately I didn't feel I needed to stay in the Mormon. Okay, he just got out to get what I needed spiritually. I think it's silly. Men think we need priesthood power. Nope, we don't. To which the woman who shared the dream, or who shared the story about having a troubled childhood, just says, "Yep, agreed." And someone just says, "She hallucinated."
Yeah. Lombard Jr. She hallucinated.
Yeah. Someone here says, "Only one snarky comment. Did they used to be called home teaching angels? Har har. Sorry. Very lovely experience. I love that for you." Okay. Was he the snarky comment? Or was he referring to the hallucination guy up there?
Oh, yeah, that's probably
okay. Anyways, the reason I wanted to do this post is this next comment here from Cycling Grandpas. I didn't even read the username, but it says, "How about clowns? When I was 8 years old and running a fever of 103, I swore I saw a clown watching me from the stairwell across the room."
Oh no!
For those in the for those in the Utah area, the clown looked like the D Burger clown. In my mind, it was very real, and I relived the experience for many years afterwards.
I love this voice.
Now that I'm much older and more rational, how does my experience differ from those who claim to see angels?
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
I'm posting a picture of D Burger in the media channel.
Yeah, I was gonna look up. Holy hell! Oh my God.
This guy is not.
That looks like freaking John Wayne Gacy. Jesus. Oh my God.
Yikes. That's, by the way, people listening, if you want to look it up, it's DEE Burger, not the letter D Burger.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's see, someone does respond to it with the D Burger clown reference absolutely made my day. Now let's face it, clowns are scary and nobody likes clowns. Besides, the D Burger clown looks a tad too much like Pennywise. No, I wouldn't say Pennywise. Definitely, probably more John Wayne Gacy. But
Pennywise, roughly, King did base on John Wayne Gacy. So at the end of the day, it's all John Wayne Gacy.
Sure. Let's see. Someone else here said, this person's username is flared with the service missionary for the church. And in parentheses he says, this isn't a church account.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't speak for that church.
Yeah. As a sick 8-year-old, you were probably far more subject to hallucination at the time than a healthy adult who would reportedly have divine experiences.
What?
Yeah, I'd say, like, as a kid, you know, you're probably going to see something that makes you feel a little more comfortable than like an angel. And I guess Grandpa here, he liked the D-Burger clown. Let's see, someone else here. Their username is flared with former Mormon, and they're a top 1% commenter.
I bet they are.
In the Mormon subreddit. Says, have you ever heard of a case where a healthy adult saw an angel? Usually they're also unhealthy. Oh, okay. I see. They're being snarky towards this.
I mean, former Mormon's going to be commenting on this. They're not going to say many nice things.
Yeah. And then there's just kind of a thread there where they kind of go into that. But a cycling grandpa eventually responds here with, yet when similar claims are made concerning those who have NDEs, I'm not sure I'm going to know what that means, or claim to see angels.
Non-disclosure agreement? Oh,
that would be an NDA.
That's NDA, sorry. Non-disclosure example.
But sure.
Oh, near-death experience.
Okay. A near-death experience. Why? Okay.
Why abbreviate it? Yeah.
Yeah, those who have near-death experiences or claim to see angels or even gold plates, Mormons. Believers readily dismiss them because they are supposedly rational adults at the time of the experience. I believe in clowns at the time, so it stands to reason that that is what I saw. That is no different from those who have alleged supernatural sightings. The conclusion is that both claims, seeing clowns or angels, are irrational. Okay, so I guess he went somewhere there at the end. I kind of got lost in the middle, but man, all these Mormon accounts have like flares on them. Someone named Brother of Jeremy with the flare, that's Dr. Apostate to you, says, if God intends us to accept visions, dreams, and emotional confirmations as validating of faith, particularly in high demand religion, what does that mean? Then he should have designed the human mind differently. There are too many false positives to view LDS style epistemology as remotely reliable. The brain will serve up the same kind of witness to humans who want to believe anything. All right. I have a feeling that these comments are going to be pretty far some of these people's asses. Let's see. Gold Star here says, my late husband snuggled up behind me in bed and said, I see you. I would swear I was wide awake. It was morning. Okay. The next night, I had some more traditional sleep paralysis events. I'm an atheist, and I treasure the memory. Why are you commenting in this Mormon subreddit, then? I'm an atheist and treasure the memory. Yeah. I happily tell anyone, the human brain can create fantastic stuff. Okay, so an atheist found their way to this post that only has 19 upvotes and 89 comments on it. That's it's kind of strange. Maybe there's those atheists who like to prowl religious subreddits to like...
Yeah, they're like looking for a fight.
Yeah. Someone else here named Careful Self 457 says, I worked in an Alzheimer's home for 10 years and have sat with many people who were dying. All of them at some point within hours of their death saw family members who were deceased in the room. My grandma yelled at my mom for scaring them away. My dad's GF saw my dad and her 3-legged dog, which had 4 legs in the afterlife. I am not sure if these are what you call angels, but everyone I have ever sat with saw someone in their room. Okay. Yeah. I love the idea that, like, a 3-legged dog has his 4th leg in the afterlife. God's not that cruel.
Be a shame if his name was like Tripod or something.
Yeah, then it wouldn't even fit in the afterlife.
What's supposed to be called now?
Okay. Here, another experience from someone, or I guess is this an experience? Let's see. Stories about things like seeing and speaking to the dead relatives are more common in some cultures than others. I knew a woman who told a story like that. It seems to be less common in American, Canadian, Western European cultures.
Wow.
All different cultures, I'd say. Someone named Dudley did wrong.
Dudley?
Or is it Dudley? Sure. Maybe it's Dudley. They're former Mormon. You might want to read up on post-bereavement hallucinatory experiences, PBHE. They are far more common than most Westerners realize. Some estimates say that 14% of U.S. adults will have that experience. They appear to be one of the ways human brains process grief.
Booyah Guitar Guy says, I do. But in our time, they are more commonly known as aliens or extraterrestrial people. Think about it.
Okay. There's just a random comment here from Salt Lick City that says, you mean Jessica Camacho?
I just read that. What is that?
I have no idea.
Oh.
It's probably, Mormons have a shit ton of like inside jokes.
Classic Mormons.
Yeah, we probably just wouldn't get it.
It's got 2 downvotes.
Yeah. Let's see. Or just under those. A senior couple on my mission met the 3 Nephites in Antelope Island. Yes, it related to a car trouble. And yes, I'm completely serious. They went home at the same time as the mission president, and he poured his testimony about it at their last zone conference. Wow, a lot of lingo there. I've been seeing an uptick in Mormon kids like walking around here in Denver.
I wonder if, what in Denver?
Yeah, I mean they have their like name tags on, so they must be like on a mission or whatever.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense, huh?
Yeah. I was literally just at the store earlier. I saw 2 of them. We went into a Raising Cane, and there's like a whole little group of them. So I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we'll read 2 more and then close out the episode here. Another little testimony here. No angel here, but I had a half-dream experience where I saw myself getting married to a girl I knew, and she was holding my baby, and we were happy together. Yikes.
Oh, boy.
I felt so many emotions at that moment. For a long time, I thought it was similar to Lehi's dream, but now I'm looking for more practical explanation than God gave me a vision. I think instead that my mind can be amazingly insightful and creative when laden with extreme anxiety. Wish I was feeling about dating.
Which I was.
I was feeling. Okay, so he was anxious because he wasn't sure about dating. Yeah, that's just a dream that you like this girl and you grew up in a crazy religion that kind of promotes marriage and starting a family over everything else. I mean, obviously it's all the like super abstinent based like culture that they grow up in, which is why they want to get married so young and like get around to fucking but because like one thing that everybody knows about Mormons is that one, is the planet thing, which I'm not really sure they teach anymore, but you get your own planet.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and
Joseph,
then the patriarch
Joseph Smith, was that his name?
He was the founder.
Yeah. Could they stop promoting that idea?
Well, yeah, because if you look back at all the stuff that Mormons used to preach, especially in the Joseph Smith era, he just kept adding things. They got progressively crazier, and they stopped teaching a lot of the stuff like polygamy.
Oh, sure.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the multiple wives things. They stopped that not like immediately after he died, because the church kind of split off into factions. Like his wife and son went and started one.
That's a pretty popular thing that churches do.
Yeah, and then Brigham Young kept the main church going, and they did the polygamy thing for like a while, but eventually they stopped. And obviously they don't do it anymore, right? And one of the things that they stopped teaching is the planet thing. From my understanding, right? Like you still get your own little like kingdom, I guess, with your family.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
that's the thing. Like you get to be with your family forever, and that's why they promote like strong family ties, because that's your heaven, is you and your family. Which I'm kind of like, well, I got my family. I mean, yeah, you know, people have issues and families can like be split apart, but I'm like, if I spend my whole religious life on Earth with my family, I would kind of want my heaven to be something a little cooler, you know? Yeah. You know, I don't even have anything else to say about that guy. Like, clearly he just has a crush on this girl, and his religious upbringing is making him dream about getting married and starting a family. Although it sounds like in your dream you had that baby outside of wedlock, so you know, maybe
how could you?
Maybe fix that impure mind of yours. I don't know. Okay, this last one here. I have to be honest. I'm still not sure whether it was an angel or not. About 20 years ago, I was on a tram heading home. It was early evening, and the tram was crowded with people standing. Out of nowhere, a random man approached me and asked, "Are you going to heaven?" I was so surprised by the question that I didn't even think to ask why he asked. I simply replied, "I don't know. Only God knows." He looked at me and said, "You will go to heaven," then got off the tram and disappeared into the crowd. That moment has stayed with me all these years. I still think about it from time to time, and honestly, it unsettles me. Has anyone else ever experienced something like this? Hey, that was the post. You don't have to add that at the end there. Oh, I kind of want to do this now, because you can tell the Mormons, they like, especially when they're on a mission, and they're so young, man. They're when we saw the ones at the Raising Cane, they kind of pointed out my partner's genes, and you know, my partner had like a little interaction with them or whatever, and then I realized that they were Mormon because I saw their name tags. But you know, maybe next time I see one of them, I'm just gonna be like, "Are you going to heaven?" And then when they respond, I'm just gonna be like, "You will go to heaven."
You will go to heaven.
And then just walk away. Just disappear. Just fuck off into the... I'll fade from existence. And definitely...
That's what
fuck their minds there.
People should do, is everyone should have name tags all the time. And if anyone on a mission tries to approach you, just whip that bad boy out and be like, "Ha, way ahead of you. Got you covered. It's okay."
You don't know where Mormons are, like all over the place. Like obviously Salt Lake City is like their Mecca, their Zion or whatever. But I'm just gonna assume they're all from. I'm gonna print out this picture of D Burger and just I don't know. Maybe I'll walk around as the D Burger clown and just be like, "Are you going to heaven?"
Oh man!
And see what happens. Okay. Well, I guess that's going to do it from the stories. Did you happen to pull any Ask X questions or anything?
I did not.
Regarding angels? Well, let's hope that Ask Reddit isn't just, "Have you seen an angel?"
You know that's going to be it. Like, "Oh, hey, Christians of Reddit, have you seen angels?"
Maybe it would be like non-Christians of Reddit.
I will say, speaking of non-Christians seeing angels, my good friend Jenna...
I thought you were going to say that you went and saw a Chris Angel Mind Freak show or something.
Why would that be the first? That's...
I don't know. It's related to angels, I guess.
Kinda.
But Jenna has seen an angel.
So not necessarily seen. It should be heavily mentioned here that Jenna is not religious. She's not an atheist. She doesn't have that, right? But early in her life, she, I guess, was exposed to some information on angels, and she got curious and kept trying to like instigate them to like prove themselves, and I guess, and she just told me this story the other day. But essentially, she questioned out loud in her room, like, "If you're with me, give me a sign." The classic, "Give me a sign." And her tube television, her CRT television, turned on to a channel that wasn't showing any kind of programming. It was like a dim white glow with like what she described as a high-pitched hum in the background. And I guess at like the apex of this moment, her light bulb got extremely bright and burst. Like it shattered, and obviously the room went dark. It sounds like a power surge, but
yes, yeah. But it also, I don't know if I would attribute that to angels. I'd be like, holy shit, that must have been a demon or something.
Yeah. And you know what? People are going to believe what they believe, and it's not really up to anyone else to challenge that. So
you know what? I have a story similar to that, and I guess we'll close out the episode with that story. But before we do, when I looked up angels on Ask Reddit, obviously just a lot of random stuff. I don't really think any of them are worth it. But this one here kind of explains the baby smiling at me thing. It says, priests of Reddit, why are angels depicted as fat babies? I'm guessing they mean like in like paintings and stuff.
Yeah, well, those are cherubs. Are those different? Are those the same?
I don't know. The first response on here just says, that's more of a question for art historians. I don't remember it. Isn't a very old depiction, only a few hundred years.
And I'm pretty sure original cherubs weren't babies.
Let's see. Cherubs are fat babies. Angels are beautiful adults.
I'm gonna send you an image of.
Someone else said those are cherubs. Angels are basically Lovecraftian monsters. Okay. An image of what? It's not going to be a D-Burger clown again, is it?
I promise to never, ever show you D-Burger clown ever again. This is an image.
I wonder if Mr. E saw that.
The one on the right is what I'm going to show you. The one on the right is an illustration of what is assumed to be an original cherubim. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
So you can imagine the artists within the Renaissance, or however far back that the little babies went, looked at this and were like, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, what we're looking at here seems to be the torso of a person. Yeah, it's just like from the belly button up to the head, and the rest of it is all just it's
wings.
just
like
wings, folks.
Wings.
It's all wings there.
Including upside down wings on the back of their head.
Oops, all wings. From this one. So just making them little babies was way easier.
Yeah, sure. Okay, close out the episode. I'm going to give my Give Me a Sign story. Which, you know, I tell this story and I'm like, man, surely I should have more faith. But I don't. So, but it goes, one day, and this was in Puerto Rico, we're at church. And I really don't want to be there. I'm barely paying attention. But this guy gets up and he starts telling a story about having faith, I guess. And in the story, this guy, he alienates his family like so bad that he decides to leave because he's doing nothing but causing them trouble. And he leaves because he's like, hey, I'll do better on my own anyways. He goes off. Fails miserably. He fails. He eventually finds himself having to come back home for support because he can't find it anywhere else. And he goes home and he's too embarrassed. So he doesn't want to approach his family. So instead he writes a note and he leaves it on the door for his mom. And he says, hey, Mom, I guess it's a story about forgiveness, but he's like, if you forgive me, hang up a white sheet outside when I come tomorrow and I'll know that I'm welcomed home. And so he leaves. And when he comes back the next day, there's 7 white sheets hanging outside. So she extra forgave him, right? And
yeah.
And on my drive home, I was thinking about that story, and I was like, because, you know, at the time, my relationship with my mom wasn't that great, but I was just sitting there and I was just kind of like, God, if you're there, you know, give me a sign. Give me a sign that you were there. Let the next car that comes around that bend be white. In Puerto Rico, the roads are winding. You can almost never see more than like 20 feet in front of you. And literally the next 7 cars that went around the bend were all white. And I was just like, What a weird coincidence. So, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should have more faith, but you know, the way things have been going in the world, let alone my life, you just find it hard, right?
There are certainly some challenges.
Maybe when I see an angel.
That'll be, that's the ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, but it has to be an actual angel, none of this random guy stuff. None of this old men smiling at me. No, it's gotta be one of these cherubs, right? He's gotta be nothing but wings.
Yeah, but
and then maybe
you've experienced cherubs your whole life in the form of babies.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Who smile at you.
Maybe I should go become a priest.
There you go. Brand new calling. Man, surely there's a podcast full of preachers or priests, huh?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find it and then invite them to be on this show. And then we can do another episode on angels. No, maybe just a straight up episode on cherubs.
Yes.
Right? And then they'll hear my stories and be like, well, there's your proof. It'll be like you trying to surmise why I don't believe in crystals when I was sick out of my mind and I had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
Yeah.
I was just re-listening to that and I was like, man, I really didn't know what the hell you were saying in this moment.
That's my bad. I went to the mall yesterday and we went into what they called it, an Oriental store, which it was just like an Eastern novelty shop, and there were crystals fucking everywhere. And I was telling Jenna about that episode where you'd mentioned that, and she was like, "So is it the crystals or is it like dust?" And I was like, hey, we got to the point where we talked about antiquing, and it was this whole thing. So
yeah.
Anyway, well, everybody, that's going to have to do it for this angel-themed episode. Thank you so much for listening. Also, I haven't done this in a while, but I wanted to say thank you to Dale Spalding and Ender Music for our intro. And if you know of any posts or subjects that you'd like us to read through, go ahead and send them our way, either in the comments or on our Reddit, which is PONDPOD.
And if you're enjoying the show, you can do a few things for us. You can leave a review or just a comment saying how much you like it or dislike it. I don't really care. And then you can check us out on some other things, such as Sequel Factory, where we watch a movie, discuss it, and then pitch an idea for a sequel that nobody asked for. We've been a Paranormal Dudes, ever in need of stories to intrigue, perplex, maybe even frighten. So remember, if you can't explain it, ask a priest. I don't know, maybe they'll know something. But until next time, stay tuned and stay religious? No. Just stay haunted.
If you're currently religious, go ahead and keep with that. That's fine.
If you want to. Yeah, sure, whatever. All right, bye, everybody.